Good morning, YouTube land, boys and girls. So today is a follow-up to the video I posted a little while ago about what to do with those lots. Only got one comment, and that was to purchase them. And that was from a guy, I'll link him down here below, but he is a wholesaler or a tax certificate person as well. And he called me and we chatted, and he had a lot of insight. So I think that shoot over there, watch some of his stuff. I'm gonna start doing some of the things as well. He operates primarily in Polk County. I'm in Putnam and St. John's. So this is a great thing, great business. I think it's great for everybody, actually. So yes, it's great for everybody, and I'll tell you why. So he opened my eyes to a few things that I didn't know. I was doing the business kind of halfway, and he opened me up and kind of showed me other tools to be able to do all the other. So I'm driving down a dirt road, looking at a few of the Flagler Estates properties we have, which are for sale. So if you want to give me a call, Google Flagler Estates areas, or I'll put some of the links below, and you can shoot me a text or a comment on some of them. But he shot me. He opened my eyes a little bit. So basically, the land's available list and a few other things that come up for sale where they get struck. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? So it's the same everywhere. So you're getting 18% on your money on top of helping people out, and the county's getting their stuff, and it's just it's a great thing. So, and I'll go back to it. Here's why I think this is a great business and it's best for everybody. Surplus funds, right? The only person losing out on this deal is the guy who's losing his property, but he doesn't have to, right? So maybe, I contacted a lady the other day for that Lady Lake property we have for sale right now, and she went through a bankruptcy, right? So I called her and I said, hey, or actually my business partner called her and said, hey, we're going to get you out of this, right? And she made a little money. She deeded the property to us. We can now sell it to somebody else, and we pay the taxes on it so the county can pay their cops and everybody else. So it's a very good thing to do, and why wouldn't you want to do that and help everybody out and get it all together? And then there's a flip side, right? So say the property does make it all the way to tax deed sale, right? Guy just doesn't want to talk to anybody. He's either ashamed or something happened or bankruptcy or divorce or whatever the deal is. And he's just like, listen, I don't want anything to do with any of these people. I've gotten 50 emails, 50 letters, and 50 phone calls from different people trying to buy this piece of property for me and pay the back taxes. That's the business. Got it. He doesn't want to deal with it. Perfectly okay. What you should do as a good investor, and this is what I do whenever I buy a property at back taxes, I fill out the surplus forms, right? Fill the surplus funds form out, which is the funds that the county gets above and beyond the open bid price and what the thing sells for. So, for instance, we sold a lot off Yeager Avenue, right after we bought it a few weeks ago. The surplus funds were around $10,000, right? It's $10,000 the county's not going to use, or that if it tolls and gets when it goes through its process, they'll use it. But I sent the letter with their pre-filled out form and how to claim that money from the guy who lost the property, right? Maybe he's just down on his luck. I'm guaranteed if he got that form, he would go ahead and go get his money, and it might help him out. I can't claim him. And there's a business model all around the surplus funds list and how much and how to go after it. And that's like sharkish. You know what I mean? You're already getting the property. Just get the property, improve it, do what you're going to do with it, and move on, right? And I'll say something about the wholesalers. Some wholesalers, they actually legitimately have seen the properties. You know what I mean? And they've stepped on them and they've done their thing. Some have not. I would say a majority of them have no idea what the surrounding area looks like and no idea if the property is even buildable. And that brings me to my next point. So my next point is, I don't want to do that. I've only been in this business a little bit, but I do not want to be the guy that pisses somebody off because I sold them a 1 foot by 1,000 foot piece of property. That's useless. That's an easement. That's not even an easement. That's not even an easement. I mean, an easement's got to be at least 10 feet wide to fit a car down there. That's just useless. You're stealing at that point, right? And then they put these disclaimers like buyer beware, it's buyer's due diligence, and buyer has to do all this. The reason I got into this was to try to find a piece of property I could give to my kids so that they could do their thing. You know what I mean? When they grow up, they got a piece of property they can move on to it, they can have it, they can prosper, especially with the way, politics aside, the country's being run, we are in for a hurt, right? And, if you're taking advantage of people like that, that's just morally incorrect and morally bad. So what I want to do and what my business model is, I make sure, like, I've just looked at 4 pieces that, I'm going to buy, and I looked at 3 pieces that we own, and, I want to make sure, double check after the rains, after everything else, there's no wetlands stuff on there, and if there is, it's disclaimed and disclosed, and I want to make sure it's not flooded, because sometimes the flood zones are wrong. Sometimes you're going to need more dirt. A lot of people come to me, they're like, hey, we want you to get the property for us. We then want you to clear the property. We then want you to pull the permit or help us pull a permit for getting the easement and the easement permit so we can get access to it. And then we want you to put the culvert in, put the driveway in, and then I want you to prep the pad and get it done. Does that cost money? Absolutely. However, it's so much easier and it's so much less money than walking into a brand new already built home they've done that for you, right? My company has a roadmap, and the roadmap starts at property acquisition, whether it's traditional real estate and you're like, hey, I want to pay top dollar for something that's already got a warranty deed, already got a title, close to the title company, already do this and already do that. We'll go find that for you, or you can find it, bring it to us, we'll clear it, put everything else on it, and there's so many different ways to get around it. We'll finance all that stuff for you, all right? So, like I said, I primarily want to specialize in bringing properties that have been tax foreclosed on, or maybe someone's getting ready to lose it and I'm tax foreclosing on it, getting the county their money so they can provide the services they need. That's why all these roads are messed up. That's why all these, we don't have enough cops. That's why we have so much stuff, because counties are getting, they don't have enough money. Even though you're like, hey man, I pay my taxes every year. Got it. Some counties are better than others. Some counties are they're booming, especially in Florida. So I want to make sure the county gets their money, and I'm not always in the mood to look out for the government, but for this thing, I think most of the counties, they really do want to do the right thing, provide the services they need to provide for the citizens so that they can be a nice place to live. I want to live in a nice place. I'm sure you want to live in a nice place, So I think that the business model that I've put together is better for everyone. I can finance you the piece of property, and you can move in, you can put your family on there, and you can prosper. I can pay the county, make sure they get their money. We turn a debt to society into a positive. And that's just my take on it. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how it is. So we're getting ready to pop out here to these 4 pieces of property. I drove by them before on a motorcycle to make sure they were good, but I'm going to kind of bring you along with me and kind of show you what I do to see every single piece. It kind of hopefully this proves to you that I literally look at every piece of property that I put on the internet. That's on our website, floridasiteprepandclearing.com, or whether it's on Facebook Marketplace, Zillow, my wife lists it in, on the MLS, whatever it is, I make sure that I step foot on it if it's in the counties that I service. And if I can't step foot on it, my partner steps foot on it, or my wife steps foot on it, or somebody steps foot on it to make sure that you're getting what you want. So stay tuned. When you see me again, I'll probably be getting out, and I will show you Baylor Avenue, I will show you Yeager Avenue, and I will show you Stockett Avenue, which are all pieces that I can grab and get a hold of in the next few days to get the process started. The process has already been, the pre-process, the legal part has already been started, but we're going to scoop these up and we're going to show them to you and kind of show you what I go through and what I do. It's not hard, just to give somebody peace of mind, right? So I'll go through those 3, and then we're going to drive down to Satsuma, and we're going to see the 4 pieces that are down there in Putnam that we're going to combine and make over 2 acres worth of livable space. So stay tuned, hit that like and subscribe if you can. I'll have plenty more of these, popping up in the next few months, years, whatever it is. And this is what we're going to do. So follow along and shoot me a text or comment below if this is something you want to get into. Thank you. I'm out here at Stockett Avenue, dirt road maintained by the county, no one in front and high and dry in the back. So culvert would definitely need to be put in, which we can definitely do for anybody. And I don't see any wetland tags at all. So I think that this is a perfect piece of property for someone to come over and own. So we're putting this on the market here soon, and we'll go from there. So I'm out here at Baylor Avenue, and the culvert still needs to be put in. You can see that it's going to require a little bit of a culvert. Shouldn't be that bad for filling. And then there's a little trail that one runs back into the property, looks like. And we're going to make sure that there's no wetlands tags anywhere. It doesn't look like there are. So this clearing right here will be the center of the property by GPS. And I don't see any type of wetland trees, or protected trees from the according to St. Johns County. So nice, high, dry, buildable lot. I can see there's no standing water, and this should be a very nice home site for somebody. Get a hold of me today. We'll get it under contract. So I'm out here at Jaeger. This one will need a culvert as well. A little bit bigger than Baylor, but should be doable, very, very doable. You're only looking at a few loads of dirt here. The lot's actually partially cleared with a brand new house across the street. So it is a high and dry lot, and I don't see any wetlands whatsoever. Any tags from the state to identify any wetlands. So it's a thicker, denser lot, costs a little bit more to clear, but it's definitely high and dry, slopes up. So get a hold of me today, get you under contract. All right, heading down Woodbine Road, and as you can see, there's a little bit of road there, still the same little bit of road that was there before. And it looks like, without getting stuck, try to make sure I don't have to go on a full drive, but it looks like we are going to have plenty of access to what we want when it comes. But like I said, I got to improve this road for these pieces back here. But what I like to see is that we have access. So here we go. High and dry. High and dry. That piece ain't high and dry, and I bet that's where the wetlands start, right back in there. So I'm not gonna go to that big old puddle. Look at it. Bam. No way. So let's back out of here, and we'll go around the other side. All right, so tried to go down that way. It didn't work. So let's try to go see if we have access to the properties we want on the other side. We'll see how it goes. All right, so we're turning now onto Morning Dove Road, which looks a little bit more improved than the other one. There's houses here on either side, so a little bit more improved. And it should turn into Woodbine as we walk down or drive down here. Yeah, that's Woodbine right down there. We're at the curve. That's where those properties start, right at the curve. So drive on down there and see what we got. So it's definitely been cleared. You can tell the wetlands, which are down here, right down there. But it's high and dry up here, and this is the property. This is the first property line of the one that we're buying, or that we're foreclosing on, rather, right here. And then you can see it goes all the way down to right there. That's where that puddle is. So you got lots of acreage out here. And this is, you improve this road, clean it up a little bit. You got something for cheap. I like it. I do. So, good piece. I would buy this. All right. 3, 2, 1. All right. So, hope you enjoyed that. That's the process I go through, and I spent the whole day doing it. Okay. So kind of leads me into my next video. It's going to happen in a little bit. I'm going to edit it. I just taped it. But you got to ask yourself, and the next one we're going to kind of go over it. Why do I want to get in this business? If it's short, quick, cheap cash, you're going to lose a bunch of money. And I'm not a pro. I've only been doing this a few months, but I see the pitfall. I see that you can definitely lose money in doing this, and I don't want to see that. I would love for everyone to make a bunch of money and we all go boating together or something like that. So, I'm not a coach. I don't want to be a coach. I am going to take a guy with me on Wednesday that I know he wants to get into the business. He's using his own money. He's going to sit. He's going to learn. I told him, we need to do our due diligence. So that's what we're going to do. And he is just getting into it, but I've been in it for 6 or 7 months now, and I think that he'll be good at it because you got to have a certain mentality to do this. It's not, you can't look at it like cheap, quick cash. So keep that in mind. Go through YouTube, watch a few of these videos, learn, sit in bed, learn, read, watch the next video of kind of the process before I even go do this process where I go out and look at everything. I do the preliminary process for each property I buy a certificate on, and each property I buy a deed to. So, 2 things: slow down, have an exit strategy. We'll see you guys next time, and hopefully you've hit that like, that subscribe, and we're going to be in it together, doing it to it. So, appreciate it.